Alright everybody, welcome back to episode 5 of La Zap here on YouTube. You are listening to the voices of
Richie Pagnata
and Nick Giamonti. Welcome back to another week of La Zap Baseball.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Yeah, how was your day today? Or how was your week? Since we haven't talked in a week.
Yeah, I mean, had a good weekend. It was beautiful weather out, so hung out by the pool most of it. And, Saturday was crappy, but made it work. Today I went grocery shopping. My day was very uneventful.
Yeah.
How about you? How's your week?
Weekend was pretty good.
That's it?
That's it. No, it was pretty good.
Okay.
Had fun with some friends, family,
That's cute.
the girl. Had a lot of fun.
Super cute.
But yeah, very cute. So yeah, we got a lot to actually talk about today.
Yeah, lots happened since we last spoke to you guys.
Also,
so.
I'm wearing a great hat, which really
Big Yankee fan.
He thinks I'm a
That's all I'm gonna say.
fake Yankee fan because I got a Cubs hat.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, whatever works better for you. But yeah, so you want to bring up?
Yeah, let's
first
go over
topics of the day?
what's been going on in the last week. So we last left you off with what the rumors were about the new baseball season for 2020 and what's going to happen. And thankfully, we finally. Oh, thank you for fixing this.
Yeah, I can hear everything.
We finally have a definitive agreement on what's actually happening. So I haven't really followed so much up on the health manual that they're going to be using, but the testing I did read about beforehand, it's pretty intense. It sounded like it was. Players would wake up, take their temperature, eat, work out, shower, take the temperature again, go to the stadium, get the temperature taken again.
Why would you take the temperature after a hot shower?
I mean, I'm hoping that you don't do it after after a hot shower. Let your body cool off for a little bit.
Yeah, as soon as you get out of the shower.
Then when they get to the stadium, they get tested. So they either get their temperature taken, or they get tested through blood and through the nose and all that other stuff.
Is this before every game, or is this like?
No, so I think the temperature is every game, but the testing is once a week or twice a week, something like that. But I haven't really heard much of that since last month. But what we do know is that we will have a season. It starts on the 23rd, and I'm going to hit this mic again. I'm going to be very mad. It starts on the 23rd. We have a great matchup with Yankees and Nationals. We got Scherzer going against Cole, so that should be fun. Rematch of the pitchers this past World Series.
Yep.
We do know we will have 60 games. There will be a DH for the NL, but it doesn't sound like there will be one next year, so it sounds like in the next CBA that will be something that's dealt with. Is it 60-man rosters? Yeah. So 60-man rosters going into summer camp, or spring training 2.0 if you want to call it that. So 60-man rosters, which is pretty huge. And then once the season starts, every team's going to have a 30-man roster. Then after about 15 games, it's going to drop down to 28. And then after another 10 to 15 games, it's going to drop down to 26. And then you'll finish the season with those 26 players. What else? So in order to help minimize as much travel as possible, the schedule is completely different than anything we've ever seen before. So out of the 60 games, 40 games are going to be played within your division. So AL East is playing 40 games, AL East, NL East 40 games, NL East. Then 20 games are going to be played against your NL division rival. So if you're in the AL East, you're playing the NL East. You're in the AL West, you're playing the NL West, and etc. So for teams that have a crosstown rival, or whoever their actual rival would be in the National League or American League, those teams are playing 6 games against each other. So Yankees, Mets, White Sox, Cubs, Dodgers, Angels, and it's going to be stuff like that. Then there's 14 games for 4 more teams, so there's going to be 2 teams that probably get 4 games, and the rest get 3, or a 2-2-game series or whatever. So those 14 games haven't been decided about how they're doing that yet, but it is known that 40 games will be against your own division to help minimize on travel due to Corona. Alright, so some other stuff with the whole 60-game season and Corona thing. There are players, it's very defined group of players who can opt out of the season, still get paid, still have the season accrue. They're only people who are in high risk situations, people who have family members who are sick, people who have their wives that are going into labor or going to have a baby in the next couple months, and like other high risk stuff. So the few players that have opted out so far are Mike Leake on the Diamondbacks, the Nationals losing Joe Ross and Ryan Zimmerman, and Ian Desmond on the Rockies has opted out as well. The first three, they are opting out due to high risk situations with Corona, and Ian Desmond's a little bit of both. It's high risk situation, and he's also not comfortable playing amidst the racial tensions with America right now. So he put out a lengthy post on Instagram explaining his reasoning as to why he's not playing, and I'm sure everybody can look at that, read that, and understand where he's coming from. And to help minimize the departure of him for the year, the Rockies have since signed Matt Kemp as of today.
Wasn't Matt Kemp on the
Some Dodgers and Braves, mainly.
was he on the Athletics too at one point?
I think so.
He was. But
Yeah, I mean, he mostly, like, his highest point in his career, he was with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Then he went
Definitely.
to Atlanta, had a little bit of a resurgence.
I don't think he played last year, Matt Kemp.
Probably not.
I think that's why
He had
sat
that-
out last year.
He had that one monster year, got a mega contract, and did nothing. It was really, I mean, I should say
Robinson Cano.
he constantly got hurt, which like really sucks. I love Matt Kemp.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, and Robinson Cano, oh my god.
I think also too. I mean, yeah, they're real reasons to stay out of the season. You don't feel comfortable. You don't like what's going on in the world. Safety of you and your family's health,
Of course.
But that's a big blow for the Nationals. Like, I don't think the Nationals are gonna have a repeat World Series appearance this year, only because they lost Anthony Rendon to the Angels, and now with the fact
Which is
that
huge.
yeah,
It's
their
huge.
first baseman is now out too.
Yeah.
And what was the other guy's name?
Joe Ross.
Yeah, those are big
They're big names.
big names are out.
And we can't forget they lost Bryce Harper last year. Like, I mean, great, good for them. They went to the World Series and really stuck it to him, which was fantastic.
I think that was great that the year they traded Bryce Harper to the Phillies, they make it to the World Series.
So it sucks. Like the Bryce Harper curse, man. A-Rod had it for a long time now. Harper has it.
Mhm.
But no, I don't see any possible way that they can make up losing those 4 players in the last year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
And then repeat. It's.
I mean, who knows? I mean,
They lost 2 of their biggest offensive players this offseason right now.
Can Juan Soto live up to the hype that he lived up to last year?
I mean, he's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's
He's
going to
gonna be really good.
Player. He's still going to be a great player, but
There's always a chance for a sophomore slump.
yeah.
And all numbers are going to be super either inflated or deflated this season. Like if you start off cold, you're going to finish with an under 250 average. If you start off hot, they're already talking about players finishing with a 400 average. Like it's nothing. It's gonna be nuts.
I still think it's going to be weird to compare like players who can reach 20 home runs to compare it to regular season, saying like, oh well, in reality that could be like 40 home runs.
Yeah.
But with with the shortened season, obviously, like you said, things are getting inflated a little bit.
Oh, and back to real quick, off the backtrack. With the players who might not play this season because who are opting out, there's talk that Mike Trout might not play most or all of August. So his wife's due to have a baby in August, and I only know this. I heard this on one of the fantasy baseball radio shows on Sirius, and they said, listen, like Mike Trout, if you're doing fantasy baseball, like he's probably the number 1 overall pick, top 2, top 3 pick. Is he that anymore? And everyone's like, what are you talking about? They go, well, his wife's due to have a baby in August. And it's like, okay, like if Corona's still, like the curve hasn't flattened and everything's still bad and everything's still increasing, if his wife has a baby and he goes to the hospital, he's going to have to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. Then on top of that, he might stay another week or 2 to help stay with his wife and get her accustomed to like being with the baby and all that. So there's talk like Trout's going to miss 2 to 4 weeks. And somebody was trying to tell me he's only going to miss 3 days. I'm like, no, this is typically a player will miss 2 games, maybe 3 max. But this is a very different world we're living in right now with the whole Corona situation and the possibility that anybody and everybody can get sick, and God forbid they get sick or their newborn baby gets sick. No way he's coming back to work. no way he's picking up a bat for the month of August. So,
And if there's only with only 60 games, that what the season's
huge.
extended out to September. He
he's
comes
missing.
back in September. He's only
missing a
playing 2
third of the
weeks.
season.
He's only playing 2-3 weeks of baseball then.
Not even. He's going to miss the entire season. Because
Unless
there's
the
only
Angels-
going to be a week of baseball in July, then a month in August, and then a month in September. So if his wife has the baby, and probably like a week or two in October, like typical, but if his wife has a baby and like it's really a medical situation, like he chooses to stay back for 2 to 4 weeks. What happens to the Angels?
I mean, if the Angels pull through this year as a great team, make it to the playoffs.
How are they going to make the playoffs without the best player? Yeah, you have Ohtani, you signed Rendon.
They made the World Series without Bryce Harper, the Nationals.
Oh, that's the Nationals, though.
He was still one of the great players on the team.
Yeah, he was, but the Nationals they had such a good pitching rotation, and that's the reason they made it as far as they did. Their offense was good and
The Angels
solid.
have a good pitching rotation with Ohtani.
Okay, name me the other pitchers.
I don't know, there's Matt Harvey.
Yeah, Matt Harvey, that's what I want to say. Ohtani's their ace and, like, their next best hitter. Like, they're not as well-rounded of a team. Like, they're a team that's built more around offense than around pitching, and now you're taking out one of the 3 big pieces for possibly half the season. That's big.
It's
How
gonna
many
be a big
games?
blow.
How many times has Trout either just game-winning home run or he goes and makes a ridiculous catch? Like, his WAR alone is something like over 10 games. Like, that's big. Those 10 games, like, you aren't even sniffing the playoffs.
Maybe he doesn't really care though. I mean, like you said, there's some players who are sitting out. I mean, yes, it's the game that he loves, but it's not a real season.
We can't keep as much as we want to say it's not a real season. It's a real season.
Real
There's
season.
going to be a trophy at the end of it.
That's
There's going to
it's
be an
not
MVP.
a full played season.
I understand that.
So in a lot of players' minds right now, they might still feel a little weird about everything. Going like, yeah, like my job's come back, I get to play baseball, but it's weird. We're only playing 2 months of baseball.
Yeah, it's very weird. But at the same time, somebody like Trout, I'm sure everyone's given the option, but I wouldn't be surprised if MLB said, "Listen, like, you're the face of the MLB. Nothing's really that bad for him, and you kind of have to play."
Mm-hmm.
And like they made it as clear as they could and as strict and binding as they could, where only high risk situations qualify you to take off for the rest of the season. And if you don't have that high risk going into the season, you can't do that. Or I'm sure if it pops up during the season, you should be able to do that. Like if all of a sudden, like, your mother moves in with you and she's elderly and she gets sick, like, okay, yeah, you should be able to take off for the rest of the season, stay home, care for your family until everybody's healthy, and then come back next year. And the whole fact that Trout's going to be going into a hospital where I'm sure there will be corona patients, and yes, he will be in the maternity ward, and he should be away from all of that, but you can't see where this stupid virus goes, and I'm sure it's everywhere in the hospital, no matter how hard they try to keep it away. Like, I'm sure, I don't really know how hospitals work, but if, like, one nurse, like, goes in and out from one place or whatever it is, then you have that possibility. I know a few people that have had babies through corona, and thank God nobody's gotten sick, so I don't think he's going to get sick, but there's a possibility, and yeah, baseball hopes he takes off the 2-3 days to be with his family. There's a lot of people who are thinking it might be more.
Well, I guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah, we got a month, and then he'll have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you wanted to talk about what you think are going to be the easy divisions and the hard divisions this year. Now that we know it's strictly East versus East, Central versus Central, West versus West, and all that.
With it being 40 games in your own division.
40 games in your own division. And
20 games, I guess, would be cross country and like a mix.
Well, cross division.
Sorry, not cross country, cross division. But you know, like it's Yankees against Angels or Yankees if they want to play the Reds.
There's no Yankees and Angels. No Yankees Reds.
Oh, really?
No. So, the AL East is only playing the NL East. The AL Central is only playing the NL Central. The AL West is only playing the NL West, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's going to be 40 games against your typical division. So, let's say the AL East, you're playing 40 games against the rest of the AL East, so 10 games per team. Then the other 20 games, you're going to go against that National League version of your division.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So there will be the Yankees and the Mets and the Cubs and the White Sox and the Angels and the Dodgers. They're going to play 6 games against each other, as will all those other crosstown rivalries or like the National League rivalries, whatever that one would be. Then there's 14 games left for the other 4 teams. So I'm sure they're going to do probably like 3 of them are going to be. We might just do 2 games. And then 2, probably do 4, 6. I don't know, they're going to do like a bunch. They haven't figured out those 14 games yet, how they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to divide 14 into 4, which is.
They're still getting 6 games up between Yankees and Mets.
Yeah, which is fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for that. So that's how they're doing divisions this year. So I know that I personally think that the AL Central is going to have a cakewalk. That I think the Twins are really going to just run away with it. That I don't see their division that difficult. The Indians are good, but they're on the downswing. I mean, they just got rid of Kluber, sent him to.
I think the White Sox will be better than the Indians.
Yeah, the White Sox are going to be better than the Indians. The White Sox are going to be good. I mean, they've been up and coming for a while, and after they made the trade with Boston a few years ago, they got a lot of young talent from that, and there's a lot of talk that all of them are going to finally be up playing for them. So the White Sox should be good, but I don't think they're going to be better than the Twins. The Twins are the powerhouse of the league. And then you have the Tigers, who just had the first overall pick. They're not good. And who am I forgetting? AL Central. Oh, right there.
AL Central is White Sox, Indians, Tigers,
Kansas City.
and
And Kansas City is not good. Then you go to the NL Central. Okay, you have the Cardinals and the Cubs, who are solid teams. Pirates aren't good. The Brewers are good. And Cincinnati's... I love Cincinnati, but they just can't... They haven't been good the last few years, which is sad.
I feel like Cincinnati in the next couple of years is going to have a breakout.
I hope they have a breakout because
now.
I love Joey Votto. I want to see him win a World Series.
June 30th, 2020, 5 years from now, they're going to have a breakout. 5 years.
All right. I think that the Twins are really going to demolish everybody in front of them. I wouldn't be surprised if they walk away with the best record in baseball this year. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Who do you said?
I'm going to go with the NL West.
Yeah.
Between the Dodgers, the Padres, the Giants, the Rockies, and Arizona, I think the Dodgers are going to walk away and not sweep the division, but they're gonna wipe the floor with the other teams. I think that it's no doubt about going into the year, you're automatically going to assume that the Dodgers are going to be in first place.
Yeah.
Just by looking at the team, San Diego.
Like the Patriots in football.
The Padres have been getting better. They're still a long ways away from winning the division.
Pitching. They have the best closer in baseball and no pitching.
Yeah, and they have a solid infield.
The infield's probably the best defensive infield in the league.
Absolutely. I think the Rockies are going to probably be in third or fourth place only because
Rockies are such a crapshoot. They either bottom out or they are so close to the top.
They've been close past couple of years, and then the last 2 seasons they're kind of falling back. And I think honestly, Arenado is probably going to end up going somewhere else in the near future.
There was talk about him.
About the Dodgers.
Yeah, there was talk about the Rockies looking to trade him, which is insane since they just gave him that major contract last year. And there's a lot of talk that the Yankees were sniffing around there, because they wanted to try to sign him when he was a free agent. Now the Rockies signed him, and they're like, "Oh, well, we're not good. We can't afford to pay you this money, so we have to get rid of you." And it's like, okay.
And I don't think he even wants to be on the Rockies anymore either.
Probably not. I wouldn't want to be on the team that just gave me a contract, wants to just cut ties with me right away. And Charlie Blackmon just got diagnosed with
coronavirus, yeah.
So, yeah, they're not going to be good.
And Arizona, has anybody heard from the Diamondbacks in the past couple years? Has the Diamondbacks knocked on the door and said, "Hey, we're still here"? No.
I mean, they were good, and then they said, "Okay, let's tear it down, boys." Got rid of Greinke, got rid of Goldschmidt.
Yeah, Goldschmidt went to the Cardinals. I just think that
so
the Dodgers have, in a 60-game season, have it very easy this year, especially against all those teams.
Yeah.
Maybe their hardest team to go against is probably either going to be the rivals, the Giants, or the Padres, but I just think that they walk away with a solid a solid record this year.
Who do you think is going to be their most difficult AL opponent?
What in the
The AL West. They're playing the AL West. So who do you
AL
think?
West?
Yeah. So who do you think is going to be their toughest matchup?
It's obviously either between the Astros or the Athletics.
You think the Athletics could be better than the Astros this year?
Maybe only because Houston lost Garrett Cole. Yeah, I mean, I know they still have a great pitching rotation between Verlander, Greinke, but just Oakland's been doing pretty solid the past couple of years. I mean, they've been making their way into the wild card. There's been a couple times that they've been kicking the Yankees' ass in some games. I mean, I think between Oakland and Houston, I think they're going to have that battle. I think Houston's still going to come on top, though, in first place. Oakland will probably be second place team, and then I'm going to say Rangers, Angels, and then the Mariners.
Do you think that the addition of Kluber really helps? Sorry, I think the addition of Kluber really helps the Rangers get past the Athletics.
I don't think so. I mean, he is a veteran and he is a great pitcher.
Love Kluber. He has been. If you look at the advanced stats on him, like his velocity, his strikeouts, and his pitches all going down.
He's getting old. I mean, but you never know. I mean, teams strive better in a new ballpark, and they just got a new ballpark. So I mean, they could, find their place in a new home and play great. But I'm just gonna, stand still on Oakland and Houston being the top two teams in that division.
All right, that's fair.
So, and then with the East, with the Yankees division, I think it's I think it's gonna mostly be the Yankees on top the whole season, but I think Tampa Bay is still gonna be knocking on the door behind them.
Yeah, I think that's
Not too
fair. I
far
mean,
ahead.
I think Boston has a lot to do to get to a competent roster. Blue Jays are going to be good, just not this year. They need another year of free agency
and
growth.
you can't even predict anything with the Orioles, so.
No, the Orioles are going to. We're going to have to worry about them in like 3-4 years. Listen, they have the best catcher in the minor league system. He's number 3rd overall prospect. There's a lot of talk about him coming up sooner rather than later. Granted, it's still probably next year that we wait to see him, or very late this year. And they're doing what the Astros did 5-6 years ago, where it's like tank, get the best top overall pick. Okay, here we are. Now we're competent and we're like really good players, and we're all young and we're going to be around for the next 10 years, and you have to be afraid of us.
I want to make an early prediction now, and I don't know if you're going to like it or not, but I think in NL Central, the Cardinals are going to take first place.
I like the Cardinals.
Because, I mean, they...
No, that's a big talk, though, coming from a guy in a Cubs hat.
Yes, I know. The Cubs, no. Not this year. But
I see you're a front runner because it's a World Series Cubs hat.
I like this hat when I bought it at Lids. This isn't about me. It's about the Cardinals. But the Cardinals were they were in the second round last year in the playoffs.
Cardinals are a good team.
They are. They surprised
a really
me last
good
year.
team.
The NL just surprised me last year in the playoffs between the Nationals and the Cardinals just coming in.
When the playoffs started, I did not expect Washington to go as far as they did. I thought that it would have been Dodgers, Cardinals, and Dodgers would have won out. Listen, the Cardinals are still a relatively young team, and, they got Goldschmidt, powerhouse. They have Ozuna, who's done very well for them. What the hell's the
Still
pitcher's
Molina behind the plate.
Still got Molina, who's the ageless wonder. They have the young pitcher. What the hell's his name? I can't think of it. Oh my God, it's killing me.
It's not Jack Flaherty, right?
Yes, it is. It's Flaherty. He's just great, and it was like his second year maybe last year.
Yeah.
So give him another year or two, and he's going to be like one of the best pitchers in the league. If he already is. Like, let's be real, he's one of the top 10 pitchers. Yeah. So they have a very solid overall team. So I think they could walk away with the NL Central there. The Cubs, Theo Epstein's a brilliant man. He does a great job at making bad teams good. He's got something up his sleeve. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him try to move away from a lot of the rough pieces that won the World Series 4 years ago now. There's already been talk. There's been talk, does he trade Chris Bryant? Does he give him a new deal? There's been a lot of talks with that. What's his name? Hayward? Jason Hayward? Yeah, who they gave all that money to, who's done nothing. Let's talk about what are they going to do with him. And
really, just the rising star every year is just Javier Baez.
Yeah,
he's a great defensive shortstop, one of the best. He's a great hitter. I mean, He's just always making. I mean,
He's like the only piece they don't want to move.
we've seen with Rizzo too.
There's talk about moving Rizzo.
Is there now?
It's talk, yeah. It's been talking about him for a while.
Which is surprising though, because they had a great team in 16.
Yeah, and then they didn't. They had a bad year in 17.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
they got a little bit better in 18, and then last year, like, it's like, okay, they hit a wall, and Epstein's getting pissed. The fans are getting pissed. It's like, this was such a good team. What happened? They have no pitching. They have no pitching. Who they have is not good. And they have great hitters, and they're wasting them. But we shouldn't say they haven't been trying, because they can talk about trying to get on trades and what free agents they're going after, and like they just get stonewalled and they don't get anything. So it's very, very unfortunate.
I think I'm gonna stand on my remark saying that I think the NL West. I think the Dodgers have the easiest division this year.
Who do you think are division winners this year?
Going down? Okay.
Yeah, go from the AL East.
We'll start out in the American League. I think the Yankees are going to take the East.
Okay.
The Twins are going to take the Central.
Yeah.
Houston's going to take the West. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with Oakland's going to take the West. I'm going to change my answer. I think Oakland's going to take the West. And that's not because I don't like the Astros. I think Oakland is going to play very well this year. So
it will be interesting to see how the Astros operate without their head coach from the last couple of years also.
Exactly.
NL?
So National League, starting with the East. I'm going to say the Phillies. Over the Braves. I'm going to say the Phillies. I think Joe Girardi is going to have a huge impact on them this year.
Okay.
I know Didi Gregorius was hurt last year. He had some issues.
Yeah.
Still think that's going to be a...
Didi's fantastic.
Andrew McCutchen.
They're the NL Yankees. Let's just call them that at this point.
Yeah. You got Remuto, you got Harper, you have all these crazy players on there. I think the Phillies are gonna just beat the Braves though for the division.
Okay, I like that.
I'm giving the Central to the Cardinals.
Yep.
And Dodgers for the West. What are you thinking?
All right. I'm gonna go with Yankees and Twins. I really want to say Rangers, but they're not going to do it. It's probably going to be huge. I'll go with Oakland. I'll go Oakland over Houston. This is where I'll get a little different. Not Phillies, not Nats, not Marlins. So I'm between the Braves and the Mets.
Really? You think the Mets have it?
I think the Mets have a shot.
Okay.
If they can stay healthy, I think they can. But I'm going to go with the Braves. And then I'll go with the Cardinals and Dodgers. So we only have one difference.
Yeah, it's just the NL East is a little different. But it should be fun. Are they still doing a wild card this year with the doing expanded playoffs, right? So yeah.
I mean, it's what it's been the last few years.
Okay, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I think another thing I actually wanted to bring up was, we got the matchup with the Yankees and Nationals on July 23rd to start off the season, and that's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be so excited.
Wait, T-minus 23 days away.
There you go. Right there. We're almost.
Oh well, 22 because
spring. When is
this is gonna be released tomorrow?
Does the spring training start tomorrow?
Yep.
Boom.
You know what I'm watching all day. Oh wait, no, there's no games tomorrow. It's just spring training.
It's still better than nothing. All right, so I think this is going to be a great matchup. It's in reality, it's kind of like the Astros against the Nationals in the World Series rematch between Garrett Cole and Max Scherzer. As you all know, Garrett Cole's on the Yankees now. Max Scherzer's still on the Nationals, but that's going to be the first game, and they're playing in DC. Probably a night game, honestly. I
think it's 6:30.
6:30, so night game. That's the only thing I didn't I couldn't find actually was the time.
It's gotta be a night game. They're gonna want as many freaking ratings as they can.
Yeah. But it's gonna be an awesome matchup. Garrett Cole had an amazing year last year in his career. Went 20-5, had a 2.5 ERA. He did kind of let up a lot of home runs. So he let up 29.
All right. What was the ERA again?
2.5.
All right, I'll take that.
He was an absolute beast in the playoffs. I don't know if you remember him in the World Series going up against the Yankees, but he was so dominant.
But my favorite thing about Max Scherzer is when he's pitching, just watch him. Like when they super zoom in, or if you can zoom in, watch his face. He takes the glove, he holds it in front of his face,
like Andy Penny used to do.
and he just mutters, and he's cursing out the batter.
Yeah, and he has 2 different eye colors, by the way. Fun fact.
That's cool.
He has a blue eye and a brown eye.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But just him sitting up there going, I know mostly with Detroit.
He's been at Washington now for about 5 years. Last year he was 11-7 and he posted a 2.9 ERA. Now ERA is a little bit higher than Garrett Cole's, but still it's under 3, which is great.
Wait, who are we talking about? This is Scherzer?
This is Scherzer now.
Oh, the numbers we were just talking about were Cole?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said it was Scherzer. My bad.
No, it's okay. I didn't want to cut you off, but yeah. So now we're talking about Scherzer.
All right. Only 11-7. What was his ERA?
2.9.
Wow.
But home runs, he only let up 18.
That's big.
So
That's
I
big.
mean, Garrett Cole did have a good amount of strikeouts last year.
Yeah, no. That I'm not worried about. The two of them are going to strike out 200 players plus.
Yeah, Garrett Cole had 326 strikeouts. He pitched 2.12 innings. Scherzer.
He pitched 2.12?
I'm sorry, not 2.12.
212?
212.1. Sorry about that. Scherzer only pitched 172.1 innings.
Was Scherzer injured last year? That's a 40 inning difference.
I can see how many games he played. He had 243 strikeouts, but yeah, I can see right here. Hold on.
If he played 32 games and he was there the whole season.
He played 27 games.
Sorry, he was hurt.
Yeah, he was out
Missed
a little bit. Yeah, Cole pitched 33.
33. All right.
Yeah, he wasn't hurt last year, Cole.
Yeah, no, Cole's healthy.
I don't know. This is gonna be an awesome awesome pitching matchup. I think is it the first game of the year?
Yes.
It is, and that's what makes it even better. Is the Yankees versus the Nationals in DC, and I thought they were gonna be in the World Series last year. I thought it was gonna be Yankees and Nationals.
That would have been great. I did not think the Nationals would have been in the World Series last year.
Well, when they started dominating through the playoffs last
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
and they got into the NLCS, and like
They got hot at the right time.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, the only unfortunate thing is it's not going to be as big as a matchup as it would have been 2 days ago. Now that the Nationals are losing 2 players due to Corona. But that being said, it's still going to be a fun matchup. Like, Cole's going to dominate.
I'm more excited against a pitching matchup than the game
Yeah.
itself.
Well, I mean, the pitching matchup is very important, and I mean, what's going to look better? Cole going 7, striking out 9, giving up 3 hits and a walk, or Scherzer going 6 1/3,
No hits.
5 hits, a walk, 7 or 8 strikeouts. I'd argue that Scherzer,
You think
because
Scherzer's going to come up on top?
I hope not.
I hope not either, but I mean, it's going to be a close.
The reason I'm saying that it would look better for Scherzer to do that is like the Yankees have probably one of the deepest lineups in the league, if not the deepest. And now that the Nationals, they lost Rendon, they're losing Zimmerman, and now they don't have Ross. Granted, Ross's pitchers never really helped them batting.
It's more pressure on Scherzer.
It's more pressure on Scherzer, and it's going to be an easier ride for Cole. So listen, Cole's going to come out. He's going to look fantastic. He might go 8 innings. He might strike out 10. He might only give up 2 hits and a walk. Scherzer's going to have a much more difficult time because
He doesn't have a full national lineup behind him to back him up.
not only that, he's never going to have a second where he can say, okay, this guy's not good. I can, take a breath, and I'll be like, okay,
Yankees lineup's
whatever.
deep. I mean, at the
That's
end,
the best part of deep
at the
lineup.
end, maybe it gets
lineup.
it gets a little less powerful, but it's still a great lineup.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously you're gonna have Judge, Stanton, Voit,
Oh wait,
Sanchez.
and real quick, news today. Sounds like Judge will be ready for the start of the season.
So I saw will Paxton, Hicks, and who else was hurt?
Hicks is gonna be ready.
Yeah, they said Hicks might be ready.
Nice. What about Stanton? What the hell's going on with him?
I don't know.
Man,
I saw.
I defend him every day. What is he doing?
I saw on Instagram. I believe it might have been Talking Yanks, so John Boy Media.
Yeah.
He had his prediction lineup of what he thought the lineup was going to look. He had Gary Sanchez leading off.
Why?
I don't know. I really do not know. And he had Aaron Judge batting 4th or 5th.
Listen, the whole analytical argument is that you have Judge lead off, and I'm okay with that. Your first batter.
What about Gardner?
No,
You don't think Gardner can lead off anymore?
I don't think I'm not saying that. The argument I'm making is the analytical sabermetric-y one, where the whole point of the first batter is not to hit home runs. It's not to get the first pitch hit. Soriano was fun because he would hit the first pitch as a home run all the time 10, 15 years ago. But it was as good as fun as it was.
Doesn't help the team.
Doesn't help the team.
Yeah, you're putting runs on the board, but you're not helping to get the lineup going.
So what my favorite thing about Judge is it's not his stature, it's not his power, it's not how he runs out every play and makes all these diamond catches. It's that he's one of the most patient batters in the league. Yeah, he's going to strike out 200 times, but look at the call at that point. It's usually a 2-2 or a 3-2 count, and that's also probably after fouling off 2 or 3 pitches. Dude sees on average 7 pitches an at bat. It's crazy. So you put him as your leadoff guy. Okay, now your entire team will most likely see everything the pitcher has, and he's probably getting on base, whether it's a walk, or a single, or he's just shooting a bomb out of the stadium. Then you probably put Gardner. I put Gardner second. Get another guy who's gonna get on base. You put Sanchez third. Stanton 4. No, not Glaber 4.
Also, don't forget about Urshela, Boyd.
Yeah, no, they're all going to the bottom.
DJ LeMahieu could lead off. Or
Yeah.
he led off some games last year.
Yeah, he did. Listen, LeMahieu's great. I'd probably put him instead of Gardner. So I'd probably go Judge, Gardner, Torres, Sanchez, Stanton, Hicks, Urshela, Ford, Gardner.
Yeah, I like that.
Also,
too, Aaron Judge is, if he is your leadoff hitter or your second in the lineup, he does. The last year he started taking more walks.
Yeah.
And I noticed today, not today, but I was watching a highlight video today of Judge hitting like his farthest home runs the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And what I noticed was 2017 he had a great year. Obviously that was his real official kind of rookie season. He had 52 home runs and had 127 walks.
When he should have been MVP. Just saying.
Yeah, things I'll do that. But when you think about it, nobody knew at the time how to pitch this man. He was tall, he was powerful, anything above his waist he could hit. And then 2018 hit, and it was a little different because you notice that teams adjusted how to pitch.
Yeah, they learned to throw him curveballs. Stop throwing him fastballs.
Exactly. I mean, in his rookie year, he did still have 208 strikeouts. In 18, he had 152 strikeouts, and
well, he was also injured then. Yeah, but
19, he had 141 strikeouts. I mean, look, the strikeouts are still a lot. That's a lot.
And listen, when you have a guy like Judge or Stanton, you take them like, okay, we're gonna get 50 home runs, 120 RBIs, gonna get 200 strikeouts. I'm okay with that. Yeah, it's a big number. It's a lot. It's 200 wasted at bats, but they're still hitting 280, and they're still the reason why you're winning most of your games. What was I going to say about Judge? The other thing about putting him first, now you have arguably your best or your second best player on the team. They're getting the most at bats on the team. So Judge goes from, he's typically your second. He's probably getting 600, 650 at bats a season. Now you put him first, that jumps to 700 plus.
But also too, as a leadoff hitter on your team, you're not gonna really want power. You're gonna want to look for someone who is fast.
Yeah, you want a speedy guy.
Really don't have a fast team.
You want a high content. You want your first guy to be a high on base percentage guy
and be able to bunt.
Yeah.
In situations.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have Aaron Judge bunt, and you're not gonna have Gary Sanchez bunt.
No. I wouldn't put Sanchez first.
I don't agree.
He's too streaky. Judge, on the other hand, he's a solid 280 plus hitter. Sanchez probably gonna hover around 260 to 270, but don't forget, Sanchez is the fastest player in MLB history to hit 100 home runs. People forget that. People knock Sanchez.
He's also, I think, the number one catcher to have 20 plus home runs in 2 seasons.
something like
on the
that.
Yankees or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like he bypassed like Yogi Berra.
Yeah, his offensive numbers are insane, and everyone gives him crap for how bad he is behind the plate.
But he's getting better with that though. Last year he had a huge step up.
He did. And the
defensively.
thing that bothers me most, everyone's like, "Oh, he's so bad behind the plate." And he has the best arm out of any catcher in the league. ESPN did a whole story on him when he first came up, between his need to stand up snap time and his throw snap time, and the speed he was getting the ball to second base. He's throwing an 85-mile-an-hour fastball, pinpointing it right to the second baseman's glove, and it's usually an out. Like, you're not running on Gary Sanchez. Yeah, he's gonna drop a few balls here and there, but you know that coming in. That was my biggest problem with Girardi. Girardi was a catcher for his career, and instead of helping fix that problem, he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, you're a catcher by trade, you should sit with him and take the time to say, listen, I went through this too. Whether you did or you didn't.
Well, there was also rumors too that they both just didn't get along.
Yeah, they didn't get along. And again, Girardi should have, as the manager, fixed that relationship. I have a lot of issues with Girardi. But I like the idea of putting Judge as your leadoff guy, because if you can make your lineup extend, like by how I have it set up, where you have Gardner 9, and then you have Ford, Urshela, and Duhar swapping in there, you now make that a longer lineup. And now, the first inning he probably won't. Like, if it's the first inning, he's either hitting a home run or a double or a walk or striking out. That's it. But going to the third inning, now he's up again, and the hope is you have one or two people on base, and if he's up second, he's typically having one person on base. Yeah, I mean, he hits 3-run home runs, 2-run home runs, all this crap. But if you put him first, it extends the lineup, and it gives you a better lineup late in innings. And if the more he gets at bats, and say it's the full season, he's getting 700 at bats, now the pitcher who sees him is usually giving him 5 to 7 pitches minimum. He's not a guy that usually will go on the first pitch, get a hit. He takes his time, he waits for his pitch, he works the count, he gets deep in the count. Now, that's the best thing about the Yankees. Everybody on the Yankees does that. They work the count and they get the pitchers out really early. But now if you have Judge first and you have to face him an extra 1 or 2 times, the pitcher's now throwing an extra 10 to 14 pitches. They're getting knocked out a half inning early or a full inning early.
Yeah.
So, analytically, there's a very big argument to make him your leadoff hitter. He won't hit you. He won't get you 100 RBIs, but he'll still hit you 50 home runs.
You know what's going to be also very interesting about the season? It's going to feel like when you're watching a TV, it's like a golf tournament. Think about it, someone makes a triple play, you're not going to hear any cheering.
Yeah, I mean,
you might hear people from the dugout cheering, but you're not going to hear like a great crowd. It's just going to.
There's been talk that the TV stations are going to funnel in fake crowd noise.
Oh no! Don't do that. I don't want that. This isn't a sitcom. This isn't Everyone Loves Raymond. Come on, I don't. Just leave it as it is. I'll clap from home.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. And listen, like, the fans change the game, so it's gonna be they really do. It's gonna be weird. All right. I know we're running low on time.
So another thing we wanted to talk.
World Series predictions.
Yes, World Series predictions. You can go first if you would like.
All right, so I'm gonna just go with what everybody else is going with. Give me Yankees, Dodgers. Give me Yankees in 5.
5?
Yeah. I think that they finally have enough. They finally got a good pitching. I love the lineup. I would prefer to see more of Andujar, but let's see what Gio does. But great pitching depth, best bullpen in baseball, deepest lineup in baseball. Let's go.
I'm gonna have 2 predictions. Obviously,
2.
I'm gonna ride on with the Yankees and Dodgers because Dodgers added Mookie Betts, they added David Price, and I think those are gonna be huge.
They lost what's it, Ryujin, or what the hell was that guy's name?
The pitcher went to the Blue Jays.
Yes.
Okay, well,
They lost him.
I think
He's big.
David Price might strive though better
Yeah.
in LA than he did in Boston.
Yeah,
Remember,
so
David Price was a great pitcher when he was on Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
he came to Boston,
except
and
when he played the Yankees.
the Yankees wiped him on the floor all the time, and I loved it. But I think he's gonna strive in LA. I think Betts is gonna do amazing in LA. So yes, Yankee, Dodgers. I'm going to go with the Yankees sweeping the Dodgers.
Wow.
Because of last year on Players Weekend when the Yankees swept them that weekend. I'm going to go with the Yankees sweep the Dodgers. But,
Well, I will say, I don't think they played Kershaw that weekend.
no, they did. Because Judge and Sanchez hit a home run for them.
Oh, I love that.
I'm going to switch things up, and I'm going to say I think Joe Girardi meets the Yankees in New York in the World Series.
So you have 2 World Series predictions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was going to change.
Well, pick one.
Well, do you want me to go with the Yankees-Dodgers one?
I want you to go with what you think's going to happen.
That's the more realistic one that's going to happen. But I say it doesn't happen. What if there's an underdog team like the Nationals were?
So then, make a choice. Pick one.
All right, fine. I'm going to go with Yankees-Dodgers, and that's going to be my solid choice. But you can always, dream of other things, too.
If it's Yankees-Phillies, I hope that the Yankees demolish the Phillies.
Because of Bryce Harper.
No, Bryce Harper's my favorite player in the league. I hate that he went there over New York, but I understand it. I hate no team. There's only one team I hate more than the Phillies, and that's Boston.
I actually hate the Astros more than Boston now.
I don't.
I do. I hate the Astros
I love the Yankee-Boston rivalry. It's probably
I love that rivalry. But I also think now there's also another rivalry between them two.
I hate the Astros. I hate them. I love the Boston rivalry, but I never ever want to see them do well. Astros, I would enjoy seeing do. Would enjoy see. I want to see the Astros do well.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean because Boston's in the Yankees division. You don't want to see them winning more than the Yankees.
Yeah.
But I like that classic rivalry. But there's an even bigger one now between the Astros and Yankees, and the Yankees aren't even going to play the Astros this year unless they meet them in the playoffs.
Which really sucks.
The only time they're going to meet
the
them
Astros are getting off so easy this year, man. No fans. They're not coming to New York. Like, it's such bull.
No one's going to forget about it.
No
I'm telling
one.
you, next year, it's the same.
I'm going to get...
Heat is going to be
Next
there.
year, I'm going to Houston with trash cans.
Yes. All right, everyone. Just another reminder, follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Exactly. Subscribe down below. Click on that bell so you get post notifications as well on all social media platforms because I know you can do that.
Yeah, and whenever you see us post anything, tell your friends, tell your fish, tell your dog, tell your grandparents, tell your parents, tell your friends. Share it with everybody.
Go whisper it to your car outside.
Yeah, go whisper it to your dog. The more people who know, the more content we'll be putting up, and the more fun we can have with everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.
Peace.
This was